This is Sirach 21 and verse 5. A prayer out of a poor man's mouth reacheth to the ears of the Most High Yahweh, and his judgment cometh speedily. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and Baharachak Wadash, the honors of the apostles and elders, a great millstone, the GMS who teach and rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect pushing this gospel amongst the four winds with truth and sincerity. All right, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Parathon with a quick lesson. Going into who the poor man is, right? And this it's an interesting topic, you know, going into the etymology of words and into the blue letter, taking the meat and leaving the bone. You know, you come to find out that the poor man is usually the righteous man, the meek, you know, in other words, the humble. This same verse in the NLT, Sirach 25, and the GNT, Salakia, Sirach 25 and the GNT says, when poor people pray, the Most High hears them and quickly answers their prayers. All right, and I got a precept, but I want to go into this word poor first. We'll jump to Matthew 5 and 3. It says, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see the Most High, Yahweh. All right, let's get that word poor in verse 3.
Strong's G 4434. Tochas.
Again, we take the meat. We take the meat and leave the bone here. All right. So we got two different definitions. We're going to jump down to here. Right. As respects their spirit, destitute of wealth, of learning and intellectual culture, which the schools afford. Men of this class most readily give themselves up to Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai's teachings, and prove themselves fitted to lay hold of the heavenly treasure. Right, so we are poor according to this world, destitute of wealth, even though some Jake short for Jacob, the tribe of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole, West Indians, and Haitians of that legendary bloodline. We are God's chosen people that the Bible speaks of, the apple of the Lord's eye. All right, we are the meek, Lord willing, we are of that number. And we endure to the end. And we're going to get that word meek as well. Salakia. Now let's line these up. This is beautiful here. Mildness of disposition, gentleness of spirit, meekness. Meekness toward the Most High, that is that disposition of spirit in which we accept his dealings with us as good. This chastisement, he chastises those that he loves, right? It says, and therefore without disputing or resisting, right? In the Old Testament, the meek are those who wholly relying on the Most High Yahweh rather than our own strength to defend against injustice. Thus, meekness towards evil people means knowing Yahweh is permitting the injuries they inflict, that he is using them to purify his elect. All right, Psalm 17:13, deliver me from the wicked, which is thy sword. All right, Satan. Excuse me, which means adversary. Satan is our sparring partner. As I said, purifying the elect, right? Getting us sharp in that gym. Purging out our infirmities, our weaknesses. It says he will deliver his elect in his time. Gentleness or meekness is the opposite to self-assertiveness and self-interest. Salakia, it says it stems from trust in Yahweh's goodness and control over the situation. The gentle person is not occupied with self at all. This is a work of the Holy Spirit and not of human will. Right? I know that was a lot there, but it was on point. That's beautiful. Right? So poor are those who most likely give up the pleasures and the affairs of this life, and they avoid being entangled therein, and they cling to the teachings of Yahweh Shai. Right? Usually worthy of the eternal riches in the heavens. Right? Salvation, if you will. Reminds me, it's 2 Corinthians, because it also went into how they deal with, injuries and, the chastisements and persecutions, if you will. 2 Corinthians 2 and 10. This is Paul speaking. It says, right to the point. Therefore, I take pleasures in infirmities and reproaches and necessities and persecutions and distresses for Hamashiach's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong. So we glory in our infirmities. I thought that's what it said. Here it is. Slaki. Let me start at 9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Hamashiach may rest upon me. So get that word infirmities. This is not going to be a long lesson. Just going into some words, for edification. One of strength, weakness, infirmity of the body. It's native weakness and frailty, feebleness of health or sickness, right? So in this, as long as we are in this flesh, we're going to get sick, right? You're going to have health issues. No matter how healthy you are, it's always going to be, we can break bones, all right? Your muscles get sore. We get tired. We got to sleep. We got to eat healthy. Things of that sort. Some brothers dealing with ailments that they were born with. And this goes into it of the soul, one of strength, capacity, requisite to understand a thing, to do things great and glorious, to restrain corrupt desires, to bear trials and troubles. All of this are infirmities, physical and spiritual, of the body and of the spirit. Right? So we glory in them. It's chastisement because the Lord loves us, man. The Lord loves us. Guess I'll just stick to the poor man. We'll stick to that topic. Let me see. So the poor, the meek, usually the same brother. And that's good. We could thank our forefather, Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel after he wrestled that angel for that blessing. Right? This is Genesis 25 and 27. So and the boys grew, and Esau, the so-called white man, the red man, the progenitor of the white race, the red race, the wicked, the father of lies, right? Jacob's brother. Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. Look what it says in the NLT. As the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter, and he was an outdoorsman, but Jacob had a quiet temperament, preferring to stay at home. We be in the crib, man. This is describing to you who we are, through qualities and character. I want to get that word plain. I know plenty of brothers went into it, perfect, complete. One who lacks nothing in physical strength, beauty, sound, wholesome, an ordinary, quiet sort of person, complete, morally innocent, having integrity, one who is morally and ethically pure. This is of whom we come from. This is the stock of whom we are brought. Humble, meek, right? Poor according to this world, but ethically pure, morally pure, after the Lord's heart. Right, Lord willing, we are that number. So it's an honor, hey man, every day good when you an Israelite, man. Just being one of the 12 tribes is enough. Having the names, we don't even deserve them, man. Our righteousness is filthy rags. Just the opportunity to prove ourselves, man, in real time, to apply this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in real time is an honor. Not to be taken lightly. And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, because we all fall short of the glory. You know? But that's pretty much it. Let me see something real quick. This is Sirach 35:16. He that serveth the Lord shall be accepted with favor, and his prayer shall reach into the clouds. And we'll get into that in the next lesson, going into prayer, the importance of prayer. It says the prayer of the humble, of the meek, pierceth the clouds until it come nigh, till it come close. He will not be comforted, and will not depart till the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment. And as we read in Sirach 21:5, when prayer out of a poor man's mouth reaches to the Most High, his judgment comes speedily on his time, not ours. All right, so with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Baharuch HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, and GMS will teach and rule well. And shalom to the elect, Kwame Yasharal and the Baba Ball.